The holographic display cast an eerie blue glow across Commander Sarah Chen's face as she studied the ancient records. The archive room aboard the ESS Hyperion held humanity's most closely guarded secrets, but this particular file made her breath catch. Before her floated a diplomatic record dating back 300 years to humanity's first contact with the Zelaxians. "Computer, verify authenticity," Sarah commanded, her fingers trembling slightly as she manipulated the controls. The AI's response was immediate. "Document authenticity confirmed. Origin: Earth Diplomatic Corps, dated 2724 CE." The timing couldn't have been more crucial. Earth's colonies were burning. The Kraken Empire's relentless advance had already claimed 7 systems, their biomechanical warships consuming everything in their path. The Coalition's last stand at Proxima Centauri had bought them precious weeks, but everyone knew it was only delaying the inevitable. Sarah's eyes widened as she read further. The document detailed not just first contact, but a profound exchange between species. When the Zelaxians arrived on Earth, they found humanity struggling with a catastrophic climate crisis. Instead of conquering or ignoring the primitive species, the Zelaxians shared their atmospheric restoration technology freely, asking nothing in return. The document ended with a formal declaration from the Zelaxian High Council. "We grant this gift freely, with no expectation of repayment. But know that the Zelaxian people remember both friends and enemies eternal. This deed shall be recorded in the great memory." A sharp chime interrupted her reading. "Commander," her XO's voice crackled through the comm, "we're receiving a transmission. Unknown origin, but it's using ancient Zelaxian protocols." Sarah's heart raced as she authorized the transmission. The holographic display shifted, revealing a tall, crystalline being. Its translucent body pulsed with internal light, a characteristic of the now reclusive Zelaxians. Descendants of Earth, the being spoke, its voice resonating like wind through crystal. "We have watched as the Kraken Empire threatens all we hold sacred. 3 centuries ago, your people faced extinction with dignity. You accepted our help with gratitude and respect, never demanding more than was offered. The time has come to honor that memory." The Zelaxians' form shifted, displaying strategic data. The Kraken believe they face only the forces of Earth. They are mistaken. The great fleet of the Crystal Worlds has awakened. A debt 3 centuries in waiting shall be repaid. Sarah stood transfixed as the magnitude of the message stank in. Humanity's darkest hour had just become its greatest opportunity. A friendship forged in Earth's past was about to reshape the galaxy's future. "Send word to Coalition Command," she ordered, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Tell them hope has arrived. And it's been 300 years in the making." As the message was relayed, Sarah couldn't help but smile at the irony. The Kraken Empire had based their entire strategy on humanity's apparent isolation in the galaxy. They never considered that an act of kindness from centuries past might return to haunt them. The ancient promise was about to be fulfilled, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Kraken fleet darkened the skies above New Terra, their biomechanical ships pulsing with malevolent energy. Admiral Kravik watched from his command ship, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. "Another human world ripe for harvest," he growled. His victory was interrupted by an urgent transmission. "Admiral, detecting unusual energy signatures at the system's edge. Configuration unknown." Before Kravik could respond, space itself seemed to crystallize. Massive vessels of living crystal emerged from what appeared to be tears in reality, their surfaces refracting starlight in impossible patterns. The Zelaxian Great Fleet had arrived. On the bridge of the ESS Hyperion, Sarah Chen coordinated with her new allies. The Zelaxian commander, First Crystal Resonator Zix, projected his consciousness directly into the ship's tactical systems. "Our vessels require precise synchronization with your forces, Commander. The Great Memory has preserved our combat doctrines for 3 centuries, but adaptation is necessary." The combined fleet moved with purpose. Human warships, tough and practical, formed a protective screen around the larger Zalaxian vessels. Where the humans lacked raw power, they'd made up for it with tactical flexibility and sheer determination. Kravek's response was predictable, a full frontal assault. The Kraken believed in overwhelming force, their ships designed to consume and incorporate defeated enemies into their own biomass. But for the first time, they faced an enemy who had prepared for centuries. The Zalaxian ships unveiled weapons that defied conventional physics. Crystalline beams phased through Kraken shields, while human gunners exploited the openings with devastating precision. Each species complemented the other's strengths, a deadly dance 300 years in the making. They're adapting, Sarah warned as the Kraken ships began shifting their biological structures. Typical Kraken response: they evolve mid-battle. Zix's crystalline form pulsed with tactical calculations. As expected, the Great Memory contains centuries of observations of Kraken behavior patterns, transmitting countermeasures now. The battle for New Terra became a turning point, not because of the technology or tactics alone, but because it represented something the Kraken had never encountered: a debt of honor spanning centuries, paid in full when needed most. As the last Kraken ship retreated, its hull scarred by crystalline weapons, Sarah received word from Earth. The Coalition Council had voted unanimously to formalize the ancient pact into a full military alliance. The war was far from over, but its nature had fundamentally changed. The Kraken Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson about the power of memory and the true value of acts of kindness that echo through centuries. Deep within the crystalline shipyards of Zelax Prime, ancient warships stirred to life. Each vessel was a masterwork of living crystal, grown and nurtured over centuries for this precise moment. Sarah Chen stood beside First Resonator Zix, watching in awe as the legendary Hidden Fleet awakened. Our ancestors began growing these ships the day they left Earth, Zix explained, his crystalline form shimmering. Each vessel contains the accumulated knowledge of 300 years, waiting to be unleashed. The Zalaxian shipyards were a testament to patience. While humanity developed its technology through rapid iteration, the Zalaxians took the long view. Their ships were conscious entities, grown rather than built, each one carrying the memories of generations. A human technician team, led by Chief Engineer Maya Rodriguez, worked to integrate Earth's combat systems with the crystal ships. "The neural interfaces are like nothing we've ever seen," Maya reported. "These ships don't just carry weapons, they are weapons." The integration wasn't without challenges. Human minds struggled to process the multidimensional thinking required to pilot Zalaxian vessels. Meanwhile, the crystalline beings found human intuition and split-second decision-making almost incomprehensible. "Your species acts without complete data," Zix observed, watching human pilots train. "You trust instincts over analysis." Sarah smiled. "That's why we complement each other. Your people planned for centuries. We improvise in seconds. Together, we're something the Kraken can't predict." The Hidden Fleet represented more than military might. Each ship contained chambers specifically designed for human crew, anticipated and prepared centuries ago. The Zalaxians hadn't just preserved their technology, they'd evolved it to accommodate their future allies. As the fleet prepared for departure, Sarah received urgent news. The Kraken had launched a major offensive, targeting Earth's core worlds. But intercepted communications revealed their confusion. The Empire's leadership couldn't comprehend why the Zalaxians, known for their isolation, would honor a debt so old. "They don't understand," Zix resonated, his crystalline form pulsing with determination. "Memory is not just data. It is who we are. 300 years ago, your people showed dignity in crisis. Now we show that such dignity is never forgotten." The Hidden Fleet moved out, a symphony of crystal and light. Human and Zalaxian crews worked as one, each bringing their unique strengths to the partnership. The Kraken Empire was about to face something unprecedented, an alliance forged in ancient gratitude and tempered by centuries of preparation. As her ship joined the formation, Sarah thought about the document she'd discovered in the archives. A simple act of kindness, given freely, had grown into humanity's salvation. The galaxy was about to learn that some debts transcend time itself. The battle for Alpha Centauri turned space itself into crystal. Human ships danced between crystalline beams as the hidden fleet engaged the Kraken armada. Admiral Kravik watched his carefully laid plans shatter against an alliance he hadn't believed possible. Multiple phase shifts detected, his tactical officer reported. The humans are using Zalaxian technology to bypass our shields. The combined fleet moved with deadly precision. Human gunners, linked through Zalaxian neural interfaces, achieved impossible accuracy. Crystal ships phased through Kraken defenses, while Earth's vessels delivered killing blows. Sarah Chen coordinated the assault from the bridge of a hybrid vessel. Human engineering merged with Zalaxian crystal tech. "Pattern Sigma," she commanded, "just like we practiced." The fleet responded as one. Crystalline vessels formed geometric patterns that human ships used as targeting arrays. Each species' weakness became the other's strength. Where humans lacked raw power, Zalaxian crystals amplified their weapons. Where Zalaxian tactics were too rigid, human intuition provided unpredictability. Kravik's flagship attempted to adapt, its biological structure morphing to counter each attack. But the Zalaxians had spent centuries studying Kraken evolution patterns. Each adaptation was met with a pre-planned counter. Their strength was always their ability to evolve mid-battle, Zix observed from his crystalline command node. But we have evolved for 300 years in preparation for this day. The turning point came when Sarah noticed a pattern in the Kraken formations. They're protecting something in their center, something valuable. Deep scans revealed the truth. A Kraken Genesis ship, carrying the templates for their entire species. The Empire had gambled everything on this offensive, never expecting to face such resistance. "All ships, converge on these coordinates," Sarah ordered. "The Kraken aren't just fighting for victory anymore. They're fighting for survival." The final assault was devastating. Human precision guided Zalaxian power, cutting through the Kraken defenses like light through crystal. When their Genesis ship fell, the entire Empire's strategy collapsed. As the remaining Kraken ships retreated, Sarah received confirmation. Similar victories were being reported across the galaxy. The Empire's leadership had committed their forces to a single massive offensive, never imagining they would face a foe prepared by centuries of patience. The victory was more than military triumph. It proved that something as simple as gratitude could echo through centuries, transforming into a force that could reshape the galaxy itself. The Kraken Emperor's chambers lay deep within their hive world of Nexus Prime. Ancient biotech pulsed along organic walls as reports of defeat flooded in. The Empire, built on constant evolution and adaptation, had finally met an enemy they couldn't outmaneuver. The combined human-Zalaxian fleet emerged from crystal space above Nexus Prime. This time, the Kraken didn't launch an immediate counterattack. Instead, a transmission. "We request terms." Sarah Chen and First Resonator Zix led the delegation to the surface. The Kraken Emperor, a massive being of shifting biomass, awaited them. "You have defeated us not through superior technology," it resonated, "but through something we fail to comprehend, the power of memory." The peace terms were straightforward. The Kraken Empire would withdraw from conquered territories and accept limitations on their biological weapons. In return, they would receive something unexpected: access to Earth's historical records of environmental restoration. 300 years ago, Sarah explained, the Zalaxians helped us heal our world. Now we offer you the same chance. Not as conquerors, but as partners in the galaxy's future. The Emperor's form rippled in consideration. The Kraken had always evolved through conflict, consuming and incorporating others. The idea of evolution through cooperation was alien to them, yet undeniably effective, as their defeat had proven. As the treaties were signed, Six shared a private observation with Sarah. The great memory holds more than combat data. It remembers that your species faced extinction with dignity and accepted help with grace. That memory guided our preparations for 3 centuries. The aftermath transformed galactic politics. The Human-Galaxian alliance became a cornerstone of a new order, one based on cooperation rather than conquest. Other species, watching the conflict's resolution, began reaching out to forge their own connections. Sarah returned to the archive room where it all began, adding a new entry beside the ancient document. Today we learned that the strongest foundations aren't built on power or technology, she wrote, but on acts of kindness that echo through time. The galaxy has changed not because we fought together, but because we remembered together. The Kraken learned to evolve without conquest. The humans gained patience. The Galaxians found spontaneity. And throughout the galaxy, species began looking to their own histories, seeking forgotten connections that might shape their future. An ancient debt had been repaid, but its ripples would continue spreading across the stars, reminding all who witnessed it that some bonds transcend time itself.